Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I would like to talk to another underrated film, which I've finally had the pleasure to watch, and it's on Netflix right now. But it's a film called Cop Shop, starring Alexis Louder, Gerard Butler, Frank Grillo. It's kind of I would call it like a neo noir dark comedy action thriller because there's some dark economy comedy elements into this movie where it's kind of subtle, but it feels kind of tacked on silly. Where I might talk about that a little bit, but the story really centers around a hmm, a fixer who's on the run who gets put into a local sheriff facility, and he is tracked down by a hitman played by Gerard Butler. The fixer is Frank Grillo, and the two are pretty much stuck in a small town police station run by a very excellent um, and well confident officer played by Alexis Louder, who altogether are invaded by a hitman trying to take down Frank Grillo's character, the Fixer, and the three pretty much run along to a long night of deceptions and plot twists that explain the reason why um, the hitman, the other hitman, is after Frank Grillo and why Gerard Butler is after Frank Grillo. So it's kind of like a somewhat of a bottle action thriller set in a police station. And this is actually one I found to be very entertaining, especially when the film really picks up really run for the first 20 minutes. Because I thought the first 20 minutes felt a little bit uneventful, where it was doing a lot of setup. Um, and it felt like one of these gritty, fun, grindhouse kind of style movies where, felt very 1970s. Kind of like the Assault at Precinct 13 kind of vibe to it. And I actually like where the film was going. It was kind of the action wasn't really forced. It kind of happens where a character kind of outsmarts the other. Actually, there's one particular character I really like. He's one of the hitmen. I don't remember the actor's name, but he's more of an elderly kind of guy. I think the guy's name is Toby Huss, which he looks familiar. He plays a very cartoonish hitman, to say. And the guy is very cool, calculated, but he's also hilarious. He's actually pretty one of the highlights of this movie. It's where this dude pretty much is trying to take down Frank Grillo's character, and he's a hired assassin. And then you have the actress Alexis Louder, whose character's name is Harper in the film, pretty much go at it and trying to figure out, how they can kind of resolve the situation. But oh man, this guy, his character, I'm referring to that Toby's character. I think he is one of the biggest standouts. Like the guy, his character is pretty unpredictable. You would find his character very comic bookish, like, and the film feels that way as the longer this goes on. It feels like a very style over substance, comic booky action movie. And that was something I didn't expect from this film. So I think the tone might be a little bit um off-putting for some, but this is really designed to be like a fun action flick. And I like that the action comes and goes and doesn't feel like heavily forced in. Like it builds up, like there's small actions here and there. There's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and it was actually intense, where Toby's hitman character is trying to go after Harper, and she is fending him off, but then she goes into this safe door that leads into the prison, to the jails, cell where Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler is in, and she has this protective, bulletproof wall, and she's trying to unlock the uh, code to get back in it. So the guy is like literally shooting the machine gun, and you see that you know the closer he's getting, and then all the bullets are trying to going off the door. Uh, it's like a moment of like time, like this, like she doesn't have a lot of time to try to get to the door and through safety before he goes in and pretty much takes her out, and it's done with expertise, direction by Joe Carnahan, who's done The Gray. He just recently had a film come out on Netflix, The Rip, and it's actually literally one of the most suspenseful sequences I have seen in any movie in quite some time. Literally, it felt cartoonish, but it felt expertly done. And that is a sequence I think will go, at least for me, I think it's one of the most intense scenes in any film I've seen ever, in par to Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible, where Tom Cruise is on the wire pole trying to do the heist. That's how intense that moment in this movie was. It felt so awesome, man. I love it. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie, to be honest with you. It is probably my favorite scene in the film because I've never seen a sequence like that done so well. Um, and On a side note, Harper's really the main character of this movie. She's really the main highlight. So once Gerard Butler um, and I got no problem with it, but it was something when the trailer what they showed you was, it's a film where they were selling you the bigger stars, and in which you watch the movie, she's actually the main star, and she nails this movie, man. I thought this movie was a breakthrough for her, and she really freaking nailed it. Like she's really like the hero of this movie, and she was amazing, amazing in this. Like man, and then the plot twists and turns in this movie does feel it happens, but it doesn't necessarily. It feels more maybe like a character motive per se, not plot driven. But I think the plot is so kind of, I guess, claustrophobic, and then they explain certain things around what's going on to get you really selling into the story. Um, it really, it's really about these three characters outsmarting one another in the situation that they're in. It feels like it does kind of feel like a Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino film if they made their movie and style felt more mainstream. That's the best way I could describe this film. I have no problems with this movie. The movie was so fun. It was so fun. Now this is the kind of R-rated action flick that's up to my alley where it does do some bold things. It does do things a little bit differently. It's a film that where you've seen this kind of premise before, like Assault on Precinct 13, um, the last siege of Water from on Netflix, but they make it fun. And what do you do with the plot where you pretty much recycle, or at least elements of it? Well, you try to do things you haven't done before, be experimental with it, and have fun with it. And that's what I really like about this movie. It's just a fun, great action flick. Um, though I do say again, the first 20 minutes does get a little bit uneventful, and I think what the film does, and I think it fails a bit, is because they were doing a lot of setup, they were trying to add the dark comedy elements in, and it doesn't work all that well. Because there you have this one chief of police who's pretty much a loudmouth, maybe a little stereotypical, um, and it was fine, but I was kind of not I wasn't really I was kind of losing interest in the film because they were relying on that gimmick and other gimmicks to basically set up the movie. And I kind of wish they deviate from that and kind of dived in more into other aspects of the movie. Like there, I felt like there were certain elements introduced in the film that wasn't fully explained, such as the crooked cops early in the film, the maybe more characters set up with Frank Grillo and uh, Gerard Butler. But these characters, those characters pretty much are sidelined, and then Harper's pretty much the main lead, where her world and her environment is pretty much it shines out throughout the at least first 30 minutes of the movie. Again, I don't mind, but I thought the setup circling around that felt lackluster. The comedy wasn't strong. I like that they try to elevate tones of it just to make the film feel more fun, but it doesn't work all the time. It's like I don't think it works most of the time, but where the film was going, I thought was wonderful. Uh, Top Shot, which is now on Netflix. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know what you thought about the film. I think this is a really good, fun flick. Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie, y'all.